Your web browser, and you can give it the same kind of interactive user interface that you would get from a normal desktop application written in Windows or something like that. So when I move my mouse over a button, it takes action and it starts to tell me what's going on there. Any of you that use Google Earth or something like that, you know what I'm talking about. When you move your mouse over, it'll tell you what's going on at that place on the map and that kind of thing. So that's, if you've tried the early version of the Curt Data Studio administration console, it's all browser-based, and it does these kind of things. When you move your mouse, it'll tell you what's going on that part of the screen. So people like that aspect, but the other thing people like is that these mashups and portals, once you put something out there as a mashup and you expose it through your portal interfaces, it's immediately available to everybody in your organization. Everybody that's got a web browser can find it, right? Now, when we talk about mashups, one thing that's interesting here is that we're really trying to target a different audience than the traditional people that build IT applications. And what this chart tries to show you is, on the left-hand side of the chart, the darker color, that's the traditional apps that you're used to building. These are the ones that most of the people here in the room have worked on, where you're building your enterprise applications. There's a relatively small number of people that are building these programs, and they run the whole enterprise, and you have thousands of users, thousands of people using it. The right-hand side, as the graph gets down toward 0, these are the other end of the spectrum, where these are just the things that your business analysts build, or your individual end users build, or the person builds for their own personal use. And there's thousands and thousands of applications here, but not many people use any one of these applications. And they might have very short lifespans. You know, you might build a program like this and have it live for a month, and then we threw that one away and we built another one. These are the programs that you as an IT organization, you don't have the wherewithal or the resource to go and tackle these problems because you can't build everything. These are the one-offs. These are individual requests that come in and they talk to your management team looks at it and says, you know, I can't really justify the business cost of building this thing for you. I'm sorry, you're going to have to do this another way. And so people go off and do things with Excel, they go off and do things with their own individual programming teams or whatever. The thing that mashups are valuable for is that you can target this part of the market. And when we first introduced what we're doing with Mashup Hub back at IOD last fall, I was in a couple of those sessions. I heard some of the dialogue afterwards. A lot of people were saying, you know, I don't know if I like this mashup thought because it seems like it's going to be really hard to manage this thing. You know, anybody can code the program, anybody can put together whatever queries they want. They can be manufacturing these things at a ferocious rate. Nobody's doing any sort of change control process on this. Nobody's reviewing the queries that are being issued. And so how's the IT organization going to manage this? I would argue that this actually helps you on that front. It doesn't hurt you. You've already got all these queries running. People are doing this out of Excel. They're doing it out of all the Microsoft development tools. They're doing it out of the Java development tools. They're doing it out of business objects or whatever it is they're doing. And you probably don't have a change control process on that already. And you probably don't have any review processes that look at those queries. What you can do with this Web 2.0 technology, we've got a thing called Mashup Center. And this box that's in the upper right-hand corner, where we have a common catalog discovering all of the different shareable assets that are available to build mashups, those are things that you as an IT organization can control. So you as a DBA could use something like Data Studio to create a new Web 2.0 service that exposes some data that you want to expose. Like, let's say it's the top 10 salesmen in each state of the union. You create the query that does that, maybe as a stored procedure or maybe just as a select statement. You store it in this common catalog using the Mashup Center and using Data Studio. Now that thing's available, and all of your business users can use that with some of the facilities I'll show you in the next couple of charts with Lotus Mashups to actually construct whatever it is they want and put it up on the screen. Now, why do I say I think this gives you more control, not less control? When these queries were embedded in an Excel spreadsheet, you didn't have any control over the query. When the queries are embedded in this catalog, you're the person that put it in there. You had a chance to review the query. You had a chance to make sure that it was the right data that was coming back and that it was performing well, right? when somebody did this stuff in a spreadsheet and they emailed it out to the whole organization, the minute they hit send, they lost control of that program. And now they made a change, oh yeah, there was a bug in that, let me fix that. And now they send out another version. What are the chances that everybody updated with that revised version? Probably not very good, right? Here, if I've got this centralized catalog, if I go make a change, it automatically changes every SOA program that touches it because you're hitting it right at the source and people don't have their own personal copies of these queries. So I think that this mashup technology is something that you really ought to try and get involved in, try and see if there's a place where it fits in your organization. This ability to take it out of those spreadsheets and put it in here where you've got centralized control can be very valuable.